Good afternoon, good morning, good up and going and live. And where did I put did I move that by accident again? Yeah. Oh, it's got the ticker tape back up. Aha, there we are. I'm not going to customize it. Yes. Just making sure it's streaming on both, and then hold on. Back to it. RTMP. Not the native. Mm-hmm. Yo, yeah, it's like yeah, Cardano's going very nicely. I mean, I had it at hitting that 99-ish 101 level by late November, early December. So it's doing its thing. This is on the channel. Yes, it's cool. Pause that. Yeah, I'm just going through my notes here very fast. Yep. I get stream. Okay. I think so. I mean, the thing is a lot of these have been, I mean, they've been very depressed for a long time. And if you watch the, if you're on StockTwits and you follow the StockTwits crypto account, and if you're on X and you follow that StockTwits crypto account, I posted this morning that, you know, like, what is the best, like, major market cap crypto? What is the best performer over the last 30 days? And was it Bitcoin, Ripple, Ethereum, Solana? No, it's been Stellar, which is like had a 240% gain. Actually, how's it doing right now? What's really interesting is Sui had some great fundamental news come out with Franklin Templeton, and it's down 4%. Yeah, let's see. We've got Tezos is up 3%. Zcash is still down. But Stellar's up 14%. Ripple's up 16%. I mean, Ripple's had been on a tear. And Ripple and Stellar typically do move together quite a bit because they're really in the same space a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's just how that goes sometimes. But I mean, Stellar, it's at 3-year highs. And it's gotten there like in 16 days. So I mean, and I had a nice trade on it this morning. Or rather, the last 24 hours. So that's been a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's take a peek at Bitcoin. I mean, I don't want to say it's a foregone conclusion that it's going to hit 200. I mean, 100K. But yeah, it's definitely, I've got the alerts set up and ready to go. This is a pretty good drive up here. Really don't need to look at it crap ton, but I mean, you are seeing, these are from yesterday when we were at it. I mean, it's sitting pretty flat right now. I'd be surprised if it didn't, you know, hit that level, you know, if it didn't like hit the if it didn't hit the 100 mark. But at the same time, regardless of the level, is it within that value area? Yeah. So if you're expecting a little bit of a dip in price, little pullback, some profit taking as we enter into the weekend, we enter into Thanksgiving week. Does it have to hit 100K for that to happen? No. But at the same time, you know, this is an expansion phase Bitcoin is in. And, you know, when you look at the past halving cycles, the first one took, it took Bitcoin 12 months to reach its peak. And then in the last two, the 2016 and the 2020, it took around 18 months for it to hit its peak. So the last one we had was in April of this year. And so we're like April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. We're 7 months in. We're not even 12 months in. And so if you're anticipating a peak, probably not happening yet. I mean, if you were going to go for a peak with just based on the only three halvings that we've had for Bitcoin, you're looking at the April 2025 zone. But I think realistically, you would see a top in this cycle appear in June, July 2025, or before there's like really drastic drop off. So there you go there. Algorand's had a really nice drive up too. It's on its daily. It's pushing intraday highs back where it was in April 2024. Just a lot of these very depressed altcoins making big moves. And we looked at this yesterday with the Ichimoku system. We were looking at altcoins that have not done well. See, now Algorand's doing it right now. Now Friday is not the last day for crypto. That is Sunday at 6:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So there's still, a couple days left of this weekly candle. So a lot can happen. But if Algorand was going to close today, this would be the first time that it had closed above the cloud on the weekly chart with the Chiku span, which is this guy right here, with the Chiku span above the candlesticks and the cloud. The first time that's happened since you'd have to go back to, well, yeah, technically September 6th of 2021. Not the best, but from a bottoming level on the weekly, this would be the first really nice kind of looking strong beginning of an expansion phase for Algorand. Right. Yeah, I think that's a very normal thing to see happen. I mean, we were looking at Cosmos yesterday too, but I mean, just look across the board. You have a boatload of these. Let's look at the total market cap. I mean, basically, this everything. It's above the cloud on the weekly. Total market cap 2, which is the total market cap excluding Bitcoin. It's above the cloud. this is another great, last week's close was a really clear sign that you have more upside potential. Plus, you've got, from an Ichimoku perspective, when you have the future cloud thin like this, and it's green, and they're both pointing in the same direction. This has all the hallmarks of SEC Commissioner, what's it say? SEC Commissioner Jamie Larzaga to resign. Okay. Then the total 3. This is the total 3 market cap. Look at what it's doing right now. It's up 2.8% versus the total market cap with Ethereum and excluding Bitcoin up 1.5%. And then the total market cap is only up 0.75%. So the altcoin market, excluding Ethereum, very much outperforming the rest of the market. And this is the exact, if you're looking for Altseason, this is the exact kind of condition you want to see, in addition to Bitcoin's market cap dominance to drop. Right, it's at 60%. It's been hovering around here for, in that 1, 2, 3 on its 4th week, we've been hovering in that zone. And when you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, let's get rid of the Ichimoku. We go all the way back here to March 2021. What do you notice? It nosedived. Why did it nosedive? Well, what was rallying going into the mid part of the end of spring and into summer of 2021? What did you have rallying? Altcoins. So don't freak out if you see Bitcoin stall, even lose a little, but you see altcoins in these double-digit intraday gains. That's normal. You are looking for alt season. These are the kind of conditions that you should expect to see. Then we have Polkadot, Doge. Let's see what else. Let me pull. Yeah, it's sort of like that. I mean, you do see those kinds of drives, which is a great indicator of strength. But going back to, because people, opportunities right now are with the altcoins that have been around for a while. They're active. Don't really care about the fundamentals, but what I mean by the fundamentally active means, do they have a team that's working on things? Do they update their blog? I mean, they're not just a ghost. So like that matters. So just going down the line here, ZRX is an active network. Zilliqa, also a very active network. Now, Zilliqa was one I think we looked at yesterday as a good example. Well, actually, no, it wasn't. I'm trying to figure out which one that was. We'll find it. Zilliqa's below its clouds. I don't even know if, Horizon's still around there. They're active. I just don't know if they're doing much. Zcash still doing well. Wi-Fi. Let's see. Tezos is really trying to move higher there. Ripple. XRP is just on a tear. Took a few years. Narrow. And when Gensler's leaving was announced, it wasn't just, and it hasn't just been XRP, but I mean, XRP gets all the attention, but there's been a lot of assets, if you remember, that were listed as securities by the SEC in other cases. And some of those were the ones that we're seeing have big rallies. Stellar, Cardano, I think Avalanche was involved in that, but it hasn't had the same response. Let's see, we have VeChain below the cloud there. Uniswap, I'm surprised it's still down here. And honestly, I'm really surprised because out of a lot of the altcoins that are going to see some, and these sectors or sub industries of crypto, the ones that are going to probably have the the biggest pressure off their chest is the DeFi and DEX space, and Uniswap is the largest DEX. In fact, there have been many times this year, not just single days of volume, but weeks and consecutive weeks where Uniswap's volume has been greater than that of Coinbase, which is a pretty big deal. Tron, no. Teller, over here, look at those. Sui, of course, it's on a tear. Stacks, it's a layer 2 for Bitcoin storage. Solana made new all-time high, by the way. Good on you. Shiba. So you were looking for an altcoin and a meme coin, or something that looks well positioned for a big pump, and has volume and has been around for a while. Shiba Inu, I like this chart a lot. I'm not going to put a position on. I'm done for the week, for the month rather. But this one, Shiba Inu, right below the cloud, but the cloud ahead is very thin. It's very, very, very weak. Thin clouds represent weakness. They don't represent strength. And even though Senko Span B, which is the red line here, that's the strongest level of support and resistance within the Ichimoku system. This established resistance line at 2610. Sorry, this is at 2620 or whatever, 2610, 2620. This is a very strong established trend line, but because of how thin the cloud is right here, it's very easy for prices to move above it, and theoretically easier for price to close above it. So, but if it doesn't close above the cloud over the next 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, that could be iffy. You could be seeing some injective protocol. Yeah. Ooh, injective protocol is very nice. You can take a peek at injective. But Shiba Inu right down here is looks pretty good. I want to get in on it, but it's SHIB. It's a meme coin. I want to see if there's a weekly close above 26.29 at or above there. And even then, I mean, it might close way above and miss it anyways, but there's other things. So I'll look at injective protocol for you there, Anthony. Now, real quick, injective protocol last year, hands down, like one of the best performers. I mean, and right now, getting rid of Ichimoku, this is a pretty standard, strong looking bullish continuation pattern. It's a very, it'll be draw it sloppily, but you have a very evident form of a downward channel bull flag. And some might even say, I would say that there's a head and shoulders pattern in there. And I don't really, you know, crypto is one of the things where it's not a bad idea at times to get rid of the wicks because they can just generate a crap ton of noise. Some people may disagree with that, but where are you at? Definitely inverse head and shoulders ish activity going on here. Just placed that in the wrong spot. Oh my god, I'm messing the whole thing up, but you get the point. So there's very nice breakout last week, and 2 weeks ago. Last week it didn't have a bunch of retracement, and it's holding pretty steady right now, but let's break it down here. Weekly chart. Good thing for injective is that the cloud every week now it gets thinner. So if there is going to be a move higher, it gets easier for it to just kind of continue moving higher. In Charles Kunitz's most recent Ichimoku book, he writes about I think he called it the forgotten zone or the empty zone. It's the zone where none of the traditional, or rather, I guess, like contemporary Ichimoku trade ideas, trade strategies, trade ideas, whatever you want to call them, trade setups. None of them really have you doing anything where you would go long below the cloud or go short above the cloud. But he did introduce some theory and ideas on the criteria to play if you want to be aggressive on the long side. And one of those for going long is that the conditions, if you're below the cloud, is that the Tenkan-sen needs to be above, needs to be pointing up, needs to be, Tenkan-sen needs to be above the Kijin-sen, which is red line, or the Kijin-sen needs to be flat, pointing down, and the Tenkan-sen trending up. That was condition one. The second one is price needs to be above both of those, which it is. So that's condition two. The third condition is that the Chiku span, which is this black line here, which is just a mirror image of current price, that needs to be above the bodies of the candlesticks. And right now it's in the middle. So Injective is on the weekly positioning for a pretty aggressive entry if you're looking for a bull entry, which would occur when at 28.10. That's the earliest that would occur over the next few weeks, is a weekly close above 28.10. Now, if you want to go a little faster here on the daily, we are above the cloud. Cloud ahead is green. That's good. It's an open space. Yeah, the daily here, everything looks good on the daily. I mean, if I was trading this, what's this like? 25.90. Yeah, daily close at like 26, 25.95, 26 even. I mean, the oscillators here are pretty good as well. Does that help answer that question there, Anthony? I'll say that nothing here on the daily at least suggests to me that you'd see a lot of downside pressure. In fact, that the composite index and the detrended oscillator, the DTO, detrended price oscillator, that they're back in neutral conditions is a strong sign for another swing higher for Injective protocol. Yeah, that looks pretty good. In fact, usually have all my kids come in here and everything gets messed up. Excuse me. So this is a pretty good, very nice setup on the daily. So the weekly, to recap, Injective protocols chart, weekly doesn't show an aggressive entry trigger yet. It would have to have a weekly close basically like at 26 even. But the daily does show that it's positioned for a good resumption to the upside, and waiting for a daily close above the swings, the close in the open over here. not worried about the wicks. That's a good setup. It's a nice confirmation entry for a long opportunity on the daily, and consequently that matches up nicely with the weekly too. So there you go. But just do keep in mind that the theory behind Ichimoku is that below the cloud things are bearish, above it they are bullish. But of course we all know that before something can become bullish, if it's bearish, it is in bearish territory before it turns bullish. So these are the kinds of things that happen. And we also know that before things happen on long-term charts that establish a trend, they are established on the faster time frame. So, that is all of those caveats at once. All right, let's look at, we're going to go back to the weekly and continue moving up the levels here. So we have, where were we? Tron, we went to, I think we got the Shiba Inu, that's right. Let's look at, I don't know if this is Say or Sai. So look at how young some of these are. No problem, Anthony. If there's another one you want me to take a peek at, I'd be more than happy to. Now, this was a big deal a couple of years ago, and it's still a big deal for Ichimoku traders using weekly charts. A lot of these altcoins are so young that they don't even have a full. Not all the indicators are fully on the screen yet. Or rather, price is not trading at all of them. So I mean, the first time that C or Say's weekly charts price is going to be in a position where all of the components of the Ichimoku system are available is last week of January 2025. Secret network. Now, this is one I had on my watch list. I had it on my I was waiting for this one. I would love to get in on this one, but I don't know. This will be, if it closes above the cloud on the lagging span. I mean, the oscillators, never mind. Yes, their oscillators are showing, yeah, holy shit, this thing is overbought. But I mean, that's very, very, you don't need the oscillators to tell you that it's probably overbought. But what's most important here is how this closes on the weekly. I would love to go long on this if it closes above here on the weekly, but my gut tells me that, well, this is these are altcoins. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I won't dwell on it because there's more clear opportunities. Sandbox. The only thing I don't like that it had this new like, was that a new all-time? No, it wasn't, but it was like a new 3.5 year weekly low that was established. Even though everything else was moving up, that's not the greatest sign in the world. But I mean, the sandbox also is extremely active. They're part of the metaverse, Web3 gaming, and the sandbox is just they have a lot of users. I mean, go on X anytime and their devs are pretty active doing live streams and showing how to do stuff in their ecosystem. So, I mean, if you're looking for some type of project in crypto that's not going anywhere and has a lot of participation and the stakeholders are very involved in it, this is one of them. Yeah, the price action sucks. But yeah, they're good. They're a good entity. Short chain. As we're going through these, I hope it's very apparent that, yeah, Bitcoin going up to 100K seems like there might be a lot of froth in the crypto market. But anybody who's been through, an expansion phase in crypto, an alt season, and a bear market knows that alts have not even really begun. Yes, some have, but the broader altcoin market is still lagging a ton. And whether that's a sign of maturity of people not, I don't know. I was gonna say there's like people not risking as much capital in speculative side of crypto, but that's obviously not true because you just need to look at pump.fun. There's a shit ton of money still going to the speculative side. Even though I think the odds are you have a better chance of, like, 3 to 4 times higher chance of winning the Powerball than you do of making money on pump.fun. Something horrible like that. Render. Yeah, Render's in the AI space. Pendle's weekly chart. Jeez. I think Pendle's like a liquidity. I mean, man, look at that. That is since November 2022. Jeez. People who've been sitting in Pendle since they've never, if there's all of your money was stuck in here, you have not experienced a bear market. Good God. That's crazy. That is a pretty crazy chart. And it's a healthy sign that it has stayed up here this whole time. Yeah, it dipped down, but that's not even a that's not even a dip. But yeah, it is, but it's not dramatic. Optimism, lots of things are lots of layer 2s and such. And other things that are working off of Ethereum use optimism. Ontology, I just did I don't know, I have like a lot of things written, and I'm gonna hit the publish button on a few things while I'm doing this too, but Near, yeah, Near protocol. An ideal bullish Ichimoku breakout on its weekly chart. This would be the first one that it's ever had when it does happen. The only thing I don't like about Near is one of the things I like about Near is that it's got that 20% 20% return average APY. Or some cryptos, they don't call it like a yield, they call it your average rewards per year. I don't know what the difference is. Just the grammar or the words different, but the normal part of it. Metal, I don't even know why this is on my thing. I'm gonna take that off my watch list and never. Minor protocol. Another one that's looking like it's approaching an aggressive entry zone. And Decentraland. Add this one to my notes. Now this also looks really good for an aggressive entry on the weekly. On the daily, what are we looking at? Doesn't look overly dramatic. It's definitely not out of equilibrium here. See at the weekly on the daily close if this gap between the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen closes up a little bit. One thing to note, I keep telling myself when I'm talking that I'm going to point these out and then I totally forget, is pay attention to these events. When you see the cloud change color, called the Kumo twist or the twist, in Ichimoku, these zones are often, I mean, they're great heads up basically. So if something is trending strongly up or down into a Kumo twist, you have a high probability of a major or of a minor swing, high or low, appearing there. So if things are trending heavily down into the time of a Kumo, not exactly the price level, but I mean, if this, for instance, if the Centron keeps like ramping up the whole way here, and it's making these new, multi-month highs during the week of November, on November 26th, then that might be a thing where could be warning that it might stop there. So Kumo twists, and what's awesome about Kumo twists is, from a time analysis perspective, there is really, with the exception of using trend lines and where they cross in the future, the Ichimoku system is almost unique in that it alerts you to pay attention to certain time period in the future. It's not predicting when a high or low is going to appear, but it is letting you know that, hey, shit could hit the fan here. Litecoin. Yeah, Litecoin looks pretty good. Litecoin's been picked up by Grayscale a lot. Litecoin has been choppy as hell. Now it's actually get rid of that bear flag. Litecoin had one of the most attractive entry opportunities back in February of this year, and that really didn't do anything. It just petered out and was sold off. It was very depressing. I pulled the trigger on this. This was one of the worst trades I had all year. Yeah. That just sucked. But it's happening again. Hopefully this time it's a little better. So the cloud head is thin. That's great. Hankin Sen's above the Kijin Sen. Close above the cloud would be hella bullish on the weekly. Daily, things don't look too bad. What does it look like on the weekly oscillators? Man, how could it look so nice here and so ugly down here? When you look at the composite index, voice cracker, look at that composite. This is at, a historical resistance point. Probably doesn't matter though. Monthly. It's most cryptos, even Litecoin, which has been around for a long time, is considered a dinosaur. Even on the monthly charts, they still look very ugly from an Ichimoku perspective. Lisk, talked about their airdrop yesterday. Loop rings, part of the privacy coins. Chainlink. Somebody asked yesterday or the day before, maybe it was on Tuesday, what altcoins. By the way, Bitcoin is at 98.8. Might hit 100K this afternoon. Don't know. But like Link's weekly chart, this looks really nice. So, actually, it's stuck in the cloud, so we shouldn't even be looking at it or talking about it. But basically, if it closes at like 1680 on the weekly chart this week, next week, all the way for the rest of the year, basically, any weekly close at 1680, oh man, that is gonna be nice. Good move on the daily. It's not overdone on the daily. I will say that these weekly charts are showing a little frothiness. Looks like December might be a hurry up and pause and reset. Which, by the way, totally makes sense because December is kind of a meh month, and then you get into the first quarter. First quarter is historically, depending on how you want to, if you look at it from a pure return perspective, It's the second best quarter of any year on average. Quarter four is historically the best performing year, but it is also like the most volatile. So if you're somebody who doesn't like volatility, but you like a gain, that quarter one is that quarter for you. If you like the Lambo Moon flash crash insane rallies, then quarter four is for you. And this month especially. Kyber Network. Oh, there's just so many altcoins below the cloud on the weekly. I mean, there's just... I mean, if you have high risk tolerance and you're looking at charts like Kava or like we just looked at CanC, and you're like, I'm okay if it even goes lower, if it breaks these lows or makes new all-time lows. I don't know, the risk to reward here, in my opinion, is, for me at least, just speaking for me, this looks... A lot of these look very attractive, especially if you are looking at the broader market and the possibility of a strong alt season starting soon. By soon, I mean probably early 2025. Jasmy. This is also a weird one. Jasmy is not below the cloud, and it hasn't been since earlier this year. I wonder if it'll go through a phase where it hasn't traded below the cloud or had a weekly close below the cloud in over a year. That'd be interesting. IOTA. Mutable. What do we got here? Objective protocol. Oh, yeah. Oh, we just looked at that one. Illuvium. I don't know about Illuvium. Illuvium is a game. And it's like a Pokemon-esque style game. I've tried to play it. I mean, I have played it. Not my kind of game. The thing is that these gaming tokens within the ecosystem, I mean, they really only have a lot of value if people are playing and using it. Otherwise, they don't have a lot of juice to them. Icon. Rounded bottom. Internet Computer Protocol. When I was talking at the beginning of the stream about you have these alts that have active users, not active users, but hopefully active users, but the development is not stagnant. They're continuing to do things. They're updating stakeholders. You've got active. So I mean, this is a great example of one of those that operates like a business and not just a speculative asset. Adera, man, this is another one that's had a pretty crazy move. Went up to, what did it get to? Almost 16 cents, returning to April 2022 levels. Graph. Gala Games. Gala Games is, God, they do so much stuff. Still down there. If you read the light paper, I mean, you'll notice that I put a lot of stories in with things in like the gaming and NFT space, but specifically the gaming space, because I don't know what it is, but the gaming space, as far as like money flowing into it, the developers, the people, the personnel, the projects, it's insane. It's like the horrible layoffs that occurred in traditional gaming. I mean, it's been a boon for this side of gaming, the decentralized gaming side. Which, when you read some developers, gaming developers, they love it because they have more ownership over the product. They have a higher return. It's theirs. They can. They're developing things so that players own their content. Phantom's got a very nice setup here too on the weekly, setting up. That's choppy as hell though. Low. Working on getting bullish. Blocky. Yeah, the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance and Fetch and the other tokens associated, they're not having the best time lately. Ethereum stuck at 3,300. Hold on, make sure I miss what's going on here? Oh, family texts. Really don't see a ton of Multiverse X. That is another project that's getting a lot of has a lot of activity. IDEX, Polkadot and Cardano just had this was the most hello George. One of the most disappointing live streams. It was good info, but it wasn't what people were thinking. There was a Polkadot and Cardano. They did a live stream together, just kind of asking each other questions about their ecosystem and what makes them similar and their ethos. And but anyways, I know probably a lot of us thought that there was some cool, crazy type of announcement, unless I totally missed it. But I was there for most of it, and yeah, I would say it was a letdown. I mean, the speakers were great. It was good knowledge, good info, but it was not what you thought. Dogecoin. God, what do you want to say about Dogecoin? Jeez. Other than its market cap is greater than, I think it's greater than BNY Mellon, Adidas, Ford, maybe. Traditional finance people harp on these kinds of things because they think it doesn't make sense, and they condemn the degens and people who are legitimately investing in things like Dogecoin. I would argue that it's more of a condemnation of traditional finance and traditional equity markets, that people don't want to participate in it anymore. So that's their fault. I mean, we have free markets. It's not the stock markets and the regulators' job to try and keep money in something that people, for whatever reason, are not wanting to put a lot of money in anymore. Dash. This was another one that I was looking at yesterday. This was the chart when couldn't think about it yesterday. This is one of the best looking, really aggressive entry targeted charts that I have seen in a while. When the Chiku span has a weekly close above the body of the candlesticks, that is the quote trigger. Um, even if it were to close this week here, it would open up above the candlesticks. I don't know if that qualifies or not. I think about it. I'm not sure. Curve finance and a lot of stuff out on that. Cody. And then we go to Bitcoin. 98,968. Might just spend some time parked here after we get bonk. Bond. Finance, PMB, that much here. That is basic attention token. That's the what's behind the Brave browser. X Infinity AVAX. AVAX finally. God. Finally moving. It's another one I was mentioning earlier in the week when people were talking about altcoins that I like and that I would consider to be, whoo, man, Cardano is at 18%. It's at 97 now. Whoo, mama. Yeah, AVAX is heavily involved in so much stuff. I mean, just go to their blog. I mean, just look at everything that they're involved in. They've tokenized the Santori. It's a very popular Japanese whiskey, so they've got this NFT project. Rather, Santori has this NFT project built on Avalanche where you open it up and it activates an NFT, so it's like a unique. I don't know if there's value in that or not. It's kind of cool, but you're basically creating a unique NFT by opening a bottle of whiskey. I guess that's cool, but they've done a lot of cool things like BlackRock's Buildle Fund with BlackRock and Securitize doing that with AVAX. 42 million car titles. The California DMV has digitized their car titles on AVAX's blockchain. And the reports are that it has decreased the painfulness of going to the DMV by a large percentage for title swaps, transfers, and all that jazz. Cosmos. I don't know. Does Cosmos still have like that 20% return? Can't remember. Aptos. It's layer 2. Just kind of sitting there. That's funny. Algorand. That's a crazy ass move. I mean, this is why on Monday I wrote that article called timing crypto's a bitch, because it is. You have basically 10 days out of the year where that's when most of the value in at least for bulls, that's when most of the yearly gains occurs over a 10-day period. And that's for Bitcoin. I mean, yeah, timing is HODL is the name of the game. Unless you're doing intraday trading and futures derivatives with with Bitcoin. I mean, HODLing alts is, I don't know how people make money trading meme coins all the time. Aerodrome's got a ton of stuff going on. What's this say? Okay. I just what did I say? I wrote something about this. When did I? Where's that? Go to my personal. Wrote something about X, not X. Let's see. We've got. Oh, I'm looking. All right. New 3-month high for ADA. Yeah. Where's oh yeah, when did I write this? The 18th, so 4 days ago. Some early signs pointing to another big push for Cardano on the hourly chart. Major price moves often occur around Kumo twists, which was there. The DTO has crossed the 0 line. Now it needs to close above it. Okay, that was on the hourly. All right, that's, I don't know how much that's little relevance there. Now, hourly 18th. Looking at it back here. Yeah. Not a savant. Too much time passed. All right, what time is it? 12:08. All right, I've been on for about an hour. It is time for me to get back to work. Got a light paper to write. It's not going to write itself. So hope you all had a good time. Thank you for watching, participating. Loved your questions. And I will see you all next week.